Hi, I'm Katie Snap.
And I'm Carol White.
We're from Skirt Strategies, and we're here to talk to you a little bit about our business, Skirt Strategies, leadership for women.
Leadership development for women. We do a lot of things with women.
We do a lot with women because they're our passion. Removing the glass ceiling is what it's all about. I heard someone say it's not so much that there's a glass ceiling, it's that the floor is sticky. And maybe we're causing a lot of that.
And we're sticking to the floor on
purpose?
For some of our very own reasons, yes.
Well, let's talk a little bit to share with Blogher about our background, what was the inspiration to get us started. We'll also talk a little bit about success, how we define success, and some of the joys and challenges that we've had so far.
Along the way.
So we haven't been at it for years and years. We've both been in business for years and years, but Skirt Strategies really is only about 2 years old. And most recently it's taken on a little bit of a different flavor, a little more on site, on the internet, a little bit more of a presence than it had been in the past.
Absolutely. Well, and I think we were supposed to talk about how we got started in this business in the first place.
Okay.
And it was kind of fun. I actually heard Katie speaking at a, what was it?
It was an association lunch.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
No, as a matter of fact, it was on the radio. And I thought, oh my God, she's great. And then I found out she was from here, right near me. And I had been considering doing some kind of an online program. And I come from a background of a membership organization. And I thought, I really have a passion for women in leadership and really getting some good information out to women. And I know Katie does too, because that's what she was talking about. And then I saw her at an association dinner, luncheon, and she was saying all the right things, and I thought, we should get together.
This is why you're so impressive to me, and for so many women are impressive to me, is that you saw the opportunity, and your entrepreneurial spirit wanted to make something happen with that, and so you initiated with it. And here I was with, loving what I do anyway, but not really looking at it like with the level of impact like you have put in front of us as Skirt Strategies. So you've been inspiring in that way.
Well, thank you. And so I called Katie up and I said, can we go to lunch? And she had no idea why. And she had also been, I think at that point you had coached me a couple of times.
We've done a little bit of coaching.
A little bit of coaching, and I loved the way she worked. And I had pulled back from that for different reasons, but so when I called her, she said, okay, let's go to lunch. And I said, let's put a business together. I think there's a need in the world right now for women's leadership development. And we need to do this not just for Katie and I, but for the world. Really, the world needs women in leadership, and there's many, many reasons for that. And, just look at leadership today, and you can see why we need female leadership.
We started to discover as we got into it that there's quite the undercurrent going on nationally and globally for women taking over the world. And I mean that in a good way. It sounds like we're wanting to upheave the men, but in such a balanced way, could be so much better off than we are now. And it's interesting to note too that the thought of an idea for a business, in our situation at least, was something that has taken a long time to just slowly develop and refine and evolve. It looks nothing like it did 2 years ago when you and I started talking about it.
That's right.
It's funny because I don't know if you remember, but one of the first things we did is we got a logo. We did. We ran out and got a logo. That's the most fun thing, is to go get a logo. It's not anything near what it looks like today. It was just, it was a waste of a little bit of money, but it got us rolling.
It did, and everything we did to this point, and we've wasted a little bit of money, and we've done it pretty much on a shoestring. But I think the importance here is that keep moving forward. If you have an idea like this, just keep it going forward. Katie and I meet weekly. We meet twice a week. We always have something next to do.
Yeah. So just moving forward regularly and focusing on it. You it's that mentality of if you build it, it will come.
Yes.
Trust in the process is often the way that I say it. Trust in the process. Keep moving. You've got a vision. You've got a model for something that will work. You believe in it, and you just push on through with it.
Yeah.
So how do you define success?
Oh, defining success. I think it's just keeping moving. I mean, I love what we do. I love getting
It's the
together.
journey, right?
It is the journey. If I thought it was all going to happen in the end, and that was going to be where I was going to get my happiness or the satisfaction from, I would be hesitant to continue through this. This is what's fun.
Yeah,
Building
it really is fun.
And I am an entrepreneur. And just a little bit about my background is I started out in restaurants. Had my first restaurant when I was 21. By the time I was 30, I had 3 successful restaurants. I am now in an industry organization that supports restaurants. And, I'm ready to move out again on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And when I figured that out, I knew I wanted to be entrepreneurial again. And here I am doing that.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's been a perfect fit.
And you have a great background, too.
And my background's been development of leaders anyway, team leaders and organizational leaders, and making organizations work better. So 22 years of that was a perfect fit into, well, let's niche into women. Let's niche into emerging women, high potential women, women that are in male-dominated workplaces. And boy, there is, women are sponges. I love working with women.
Well, talk about early on. I mean, Katie got her degree in engineering, so she's been in that male-dominated workspace place, and
which I think has pluses and minuses. Often people would look at me and say, "How did you do that? God, wasn't it horrible working with all those men? Or didn't you always feel like you were stepped on?" Well, often, but there were often advantages that I had. That I'm not saying I used any of my wiles and in a way that was inappropriate.
Right.
It was just that I think our natural feminine communication style is more effective, and we get the attention of others, not just men, but we get attention of others better. I think I know we're better at sensing things. So there were advantages that I had as a woman that I never felt like I had the short end of the stick as a woman in a male-dominated workplace. But there were certainly, and I know there are for women still in those environments, there are challenges that are just...
And there's barriers, and there's barriers to moving up. And our philosophy is really that some of those barriers are because we're trying to act like men. We're trying to do leadership like men do leadership, and that's not natural for women. Therefore, we naturally walk away from it.
Right.
And
So I think success, like I'm going back to the original question here, which was success being just slowly moving forward and having those small wins and feeling like you're where you want to be, and maybe it's not where you thought you'd be a year ago. I don't care. If a lot of people say, well, I'm going to write this vision, I'm going to stick to it, and if I don't hit it, then it's not successful. Well, evolving is so important, and learning things, and you and I have run across opportunities that if we hadn't been looking out for them, we never would have grabbed them. And if we hadn't been open-minded, were they exactly what we thought was coming down the pike? No.
Well, and can I just say that, we've done some fascinating things, and one of them is we're about to put out a book called Skirt Strategies, 249 Success Tips for Women in Leadership. Yep. And, oh my God, we're published authors.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Fun to do.
Very fun. So every step, and it took us some time. We had to hide ourselves away a couple of weekends and just keep writing every day. Write a little bit, and that's what gets you the book.
Yep. So I'd say, as far as successes and challenges, that's been one of our greatest successes. I think writing a book is one of the most fun things. And if you're ever on the verge of thinking about doing it, it's so much easier now with all the self-publication and print on demand. Mm-hmm. Who cares if you print 5 of them and you give them to your 5 closest relatives? It's just a neat, fun thing to do, to be able to articulate something in a form of that way. Other successes or other things that you think have been a big win?
We've traveled. We've talked to big groups, and we have members on our membership site. So I feel very grateful that we're doing what we're doing. And we're getting paid for it, And then
challenges. What would you say were our challenges?
Challenges. You. What's your challenge?
Challenges have been, to me, focusing. Occasionally getting frustrated with a lack of forward momentum, because things go in cycles, and we have these little wins. Oh my gosh, somebody returned our phone call, and we get really excited over that. We have a couple potentials right now that we're talking to that are great to have on the table. Some proposals that are out. Just writing the proposal, it's almost like, well, so what? Maybe something will come from it, maybe not. But writing it was so exciting.
Yeah.
Having people talk to us and know that they want us to help them, which is exactly what drives us. So the challenges of having those low points after sometimes the high ones have been, you've had 3 in a row in 2 weeks and then nothing happens for a week and a half and you're like, oh God.
Dang.
Or having to deal with that website and the shopping cart.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Well, and Katie's done a lot of that website work, and I know it's not easy. But it's all worth it.
It's all
in
worth
the
it.
end, when we can serve people and we can serve women in the way that we're looking to serve them, we're just thrilled about it.
Well, let's leave everyone with one last thing, which would be, what would you say was a leadership tip that you'd leave with women?
Oh, I was supposed to think about that previously.
I've got one. And
okay, good. Can I tag
You
on
can
to
jump on the
yours?
heels of this one if you'd like. There's often a list of, oh my gosh, this and this, and communication, interaction with others, building relationships. One that I think is a signpost of a good leader is initiative. Mm-hmm. A woman that takes initiative without leaving, as I call it, a trail of bloodied bodies behind her. A woman that gets things started, and even if the initiative is bringing in other people. Mm-hmm. Even if the initiative is delegating to others, and not necessarily doing it herself, but making things happen through action or through questioning or through planning.
I love that. That is the sign of any leader, is that they take initiative, they get the work done, and they delegate to others in a way that's inspiring for them.
And involving others that way. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I like that.
I do too.
Hey, we're at www.skirtstrategies.com.
So join us. We'd love to have you there, and thank you to Blogher.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.